Hi guys, David Jennings from davidjennings.com, and we've got a new podcast here with two fantastic guys you're about to meet. It's an unknown podcast yet. We haven't actually got a name for it, but I'll let you guys introduce yourself.
I'm Danny, and he's not.
I'm not. I'm Ryan, Team Alone. I run a blog, I sell websites, and also work with this chap.
Yeah,
And I'm a drummer that sells the occasional website.
So we're going to try and teach you how we sell websites. So we've got a few different topics for this one, just being the first podcast that we've put together. We thought we might kick off, for those of you who are in the internet marketing space, you might have been aware that Lynn just recently sold her website on Flipper. I suppose you'd call it a sort of higher profile type auction. It was for 5000backlinks.com, and I know from personal experience that it can be quite a hair-raising event when she'd put a lot of work into this website, was hoping to get a little bit more, but I don't think the market picked it up quite like she was expecting. So thought we might deconstruct her auction and find out what made it sort of not reach the amount that she was after. But I don't know, Ryan, if you want to kick off, give us some...
Well, the first things that I picked up on would have been definitely the title. Yeah. I think looking at I suppose, like initially one of the things that came to my mind, one of the things that I'm used to is front loading the actual domain, but I know that you've got a few different ideas on that as well. So
yeah. Look, we'll show you the link as well as part of this, but I think the headline is a bit of a tough one because SEO, product affiliate, site domain and more sold in pre-launch. It's kind of that whole sort of pre-launch thing of, well, what actually happened? Yeah. And if you check through the stats of sales, there was a really big spike in pre-launch, which says that Lynn marketed to her list, and if I was buying it, I'm thinking, well, great, but I don't have a Lynn Terry size list. I have a shopping list, and that's about as big as it gets. So that might have been, and as you said, it might be just that the market just didn't latch onto it.
Yeah, like when you dig into the website a little bit more, obviously I think the key is to make sure that you get this in front of as many eyeballs as you can. Now, and we talked about the idea of once it gets over the $2,000 mark, like it ended up selling for $1,000 or $3,100. Once you really get over the $2,000 mark, you're going for a more educated buyer, someone who's going to, if you're going to be investing $3,000, you're going to want to make sure that you're going to get your money back. And when you dig in a little bit deeper into the auction to try and find out what it is that you're buying, as Danny was saying, really you can see just by looking at the reported profit and revenue, there was just a huge spike on the initial product launch, and she's given some screenshots as well. You dig in a little bit deeper, and there's the PayPal screenshots versus the ClickBank screenshots. Now, the PayPal screenshots came from her pre-launch. Now, her pre-launch, the money wasn't really going through ClickBank, so there were obviously no affiliates, which means she's going to have been promoting it to her own list. Now, the vast majority of those sales for making for that $30,000 figure that she's got in the headline there has gone through as part of this pre-launch. And with no affiliates, that makes me think she must have been selling it through her own database. We did the maths beforehand, that's probably about 300 people who purchased. And if someone's doing the maths here, what does that leave really for them? The product did about what was the figure?
It was 3,175 through ClickBank sales, and through PayPal, which I think it was a reduced price as well, $67 she was selling it for. $21,110.
So for a $3,000 through ClickBank, that's probably what the new purchaser could expect, the $3,100, and that was over like 5 or 6 months. The person wondering is probably going, well, what is it that I'm actually buying here? I'm buying a business that had all the pre-launch. There's not really a huge number of affiliates selling it. It's done $3,000, and I'm buying a product, I'm buying a domain name, and I'm buying a sales letter, really.
And you were saying that the traffic, there wasn't a great deal of...
No, from an SEO point of view, you dig into it when you think of the actual domain name itself. The traffic, it's not ranking for any particular keyword, hasn't got a huge number of backlinks. The domain name is, a year old, if that. So there's really not a huge amount of value in the domain name itself.
Yeah.
So when you break it down, okay, so there's not a huge value in the domain name. The sales letter, okay, the sales letter to a certain extent, it's been proven to convert. So you're buying a converting sales letter. So, okay, well, how much is a good sales letter worth? $3,000 or $5,000 if it's written by someone sort of top shelf. And then on the back end of that, okay, a product is the other thing that you're purchasing. Well, the product, 5,000 backlinks. Okay, thinking about replicating that, how could someone really, if they did want to replicate it, buying this particular course, going to someone in, the Philippines and saying, make me 4,000 backlinks and create it, go do the research, find me new links, but base it on this product. So I don't think there's a huge value in that component as well. So when you're breaking it down, where's the actual value here? It looks all fantastic with a $30,000 pre-launch, but I think the reason it did the $30,000 pre-launch is because Lynn Terry was promoting it.
Exactly.
And she has a $30,000 list. But I guess why we're showing this as well is that when you step up from that market, which we call up to the $2,500 market, that sort of startup market, things get really serious, and people will start to need serious information and results and guidance, and this reads, and to anyone who know what's going on, that Lynn Terry launched a product and did really well, and moved on, sort of thing, and
which I think she rightly says in here. She tries to explain, and I think that was the key thing Ryan and I were talking about before, the idea of creating a story and making sure that you've got a story that explains your situation. Like, she picked this product up, she ran with it, she did really well with it, but she's got 50 million other things on the go, so she hasn't had a chance to do anything for it. I know you did a little bit of analysis of this website, right? Like, I mean, if you were going to make some suggestion to Lynn, I know, whether she looks to relist it because it didn't end up hitting her reserve price, or if she sells it, what types of things would you look at if you're relisting it?
The initial things that come to me, obviously, a bit more of the work on the heading, which we spoke about before. I think one of the first things, though, that really did pop into mind when I first saw it was that when the auction was first listed, it was tweeted out on Flipper's Twitter channel as well, and she had a $10,000 opening bid. So I think that, one of the things that I think we like to do in particular is try and get as far up the most active list as possible, because the amount of activity that you get then is just phenomenal. And I think she had a really good chance of actually getting up there if she didn't have that $10,000 opening bid more.
That's a scary place to start.
It is.
You're thinking, well, how do I...
where do I go from there?
How do I play in this game if I'm already coming in and there's the benchmark? Because people love emotion. They don't love emotion. They love to bid with emotion. That's why we all have $1 no reserve auctions, because it's not going to sell. I'm still amazed that there's always that one guy that will bid $1. And he never bids again. He's the first guy who'll put in his dollar. But people do love that that competitiveness of bidding. Like, we get emotionally attached and we think, oh, damn, that guy, he's just bid more, now I'm going to outbid him. And it's like, eBay's been doing it for years, and this works in that same... So when you start up here, it scares a lot of people off, even though it would get there, but you're eliminating a lot of the competition because people aren't thinking, well, I'll move on to something else.
Agreed,
definitely.
But maybe time for us to move on as well.
Yeah.